This short video will explain why a local authority might refuse to do an Education, Health and Care or EHC needs assessment, and will also explain what options a parent or young person might have. The law says that a local authority or LA must secure or do an EHC needs assessment if it considers that the child or young person has or may have special educational needs, and it may be necessary for special education provision, which means support, to be made in accordance with an EHC plan. In other words, if there is a possibility that a child has special educational needs which may need support which goes beyond the resources available to learning settings to provide SEND support. So when the local authority receives a request for an EHC needs assessment, how will they know if your child has or may have SEN, which may need support which goes beyond the resources available to the setting for SEN support? The SEND Code of Practice states that when a local authority receives a request for an EHC needs assessment, they should consider whether there is evidence that the child or young person has not made expected progress despite the learning setting taking relevant and purposeful action to identify, assess and meet their special educational needs. The SEND Code recommends that the local authority pay attention to evidence and information of your child or young person's progress and attainment, the nature and extent of their special educational needs, the action already being taken by the learning setting, any evidence that where progress has been made, it has been as a result of a lot of help, which is in addition to what is usually provided, and your child or young person's physical, emotional and social development and health needs, and they may draw on relevant evidence from health professionals and what they may have done to meet your child's needs. A local authority might refuse if they have not been given enough information to judge whether or not your child has or may have SEN and what their progress has been like. The practitioners receiving your request most likely do not know your child and are entirely reliant on the information they receive. Remember the SEND Code recommendation that a local authority consider whether there is evidence that the child or young person is not making expected progress, despite the learning setting taking relevant and purposeful action to identify, assess and meet their SEN. While the local authority might refuse if they feel that a nursery, school or college could do more to assess and meet your child's SEN. They might refuse if a support strategy or the involvement of one of the specialist education services is just beginning and they feel it is reasonable to allow time to assess the impact of this intervention. Or they might refuse if they feel that your child or young person's needs can be reasonably met within the resources available to the setting for SEN support. The SEND Code of Practice says that the local authority must give its reasons for this decision where it decides not to proceed with an EHC needs assessment. And the code says that the LA should also provide feedback collected during the process of considering whether an EHC needs assessment is necessary, including evidence from professionals which you, your young person or the setting may find useful. So you should have a good idea from the refusal letter why they are not going ahead with an EHC needs assessment. If you don't, you can contact them using the contact details on your refusal letter to ask for their clear reasons. This is really important so that you can decide what to do next. Firstly, you or your young person can send in more information and ask the LA to reconsider their decision at their next EHC needs assessment panel meeting. If the local authority refused because they wanted to give an intervention more time, you might choose to wait and make a fresh request in the future if needed. Or you or your young person could meet with the local authority informally at a meeting with a member of the Family Services team, or through formal mediation to give more context, explain things in a bit more detail, and to help you understand more about the local authority decision. Or you or a young person over 16 years could register an appeal with the SEND tribunal. Only a parent or carer, or someone with parental responsibility, or a young person has the right to appeal to the SEND tribunal. If you were considering an appeal, we have lots of information on our Suffolk SENDIAS website and YouTube channel which you might find helpful, including videos which explain mediation and also walk you through filling in the different sections of an appeal form. Depending on availability, a member of our SENDIAS service may be able to help you to prepare your case. Practitioners who may be working with your child may be able to help you. Although a school or other practitioner does not have the legal right to challenge a local authority refusal to do an EHC needs assessment, they might be involved in supporting you or your child to gather more information to be sent to the LA. Or a practitioner may be happy to attend a meeting with the local authority or attend formal mediation to help you add more information or context, and these meetings could be held virtually. Or a practitioner may agree to provide a witness statement as part of a SEND tribunal appeal. Do explore our Suffolk SENDIAS website and YouTube channel for videos and more information about SEND and EHC processes which you might find helpful. This video was made by Suffolk SENDIAS, but every county has an impartial and confidential SEND information, advice and support service.